Good morning and welcome to Your Support Group Podcast, home with the number one podcast that supports you at what you like to do. As always, it's Kenny and Q. And if you didn't know, it's actually an hour forward. So you can wake your butts up or get to where you need to go tomorrow or wherever you need to do. It's an hour more. Yeah. Yes. It's their cheap way of getting an hour more up out of you at work.
Yeah.
So what's been going on, Q?
Not too much, just looking at the crazy that's happening on the news, and other than that.
Are you talking about the politics?
The politics, they can't come to an agreement, and then I'm just like, man, I think we need a do-over.
Yeah, I just think somebody needs to go ahead and just flip the switch and just wait a couple of 30 seconds, like you do like a whole little reset on your converter boxes or like your internet boxes. Unplug it, let it sit for about 30 seconds, then plug it all back in and see what happens from there. Because I don't think where we're going right now, it doesn't matter who's president, and I'm saying that straight up and down. It doesn't matter who's president or who gets elected to whatever right now. They just need to pull those people that's already in place up out of there. Let us sit for about 30 seconds. And you know what? Matter of fact, treat it like a relationship. Let us be by ourselves for about 30 days and let us figure out who we want in our lives.
Yeah, definitely. We need to do some soul searching.
Because at this point, I don't think anything is going to get any better. Like I said, with the grocery prices, the gas prices, like the other day, I swear to you, we actually raised gas prices, brought them back down for about, I want to say an hour, then raised them back up again. It's a mess.
My husband likes to come in here and tell me that I should be hot and put the fan on. And I'm like, how you gonna tell me I'm hot?
He's actually giving you a compliment on the slide. He's like, ooh, muy caliente. Click up. That's what that is. He say you should be hot because, girl, you on fire. Click.
Okay, I thank you for helping him out, but nah.
Oh man. Yeah. About the same as you this week. Just been trying to just stay up out of the mess in the world, and then all of a sudden, I put myself up out of this world. Hurt my little hip, but I'm good. I'm scooting around today. That's about it. Family good. I'm good. So it's pretty much my rule.
Play basketball?
Nah, I went in the cooler to go move some cases or something and stepped wrong or something. But I was like, that's weird. And then I was like, well, okay, I'm dumb, so I'm going to press my luck. So I went to go bend over and go get something, and that leg didn't want to come back up. And I was like, I did something. So, yeah. So now I'm trying to recoup.
The joys of getting older.
I know. I said that to somebody the other day. I said, because they was like, oh, I exercise every day. I said, look, dude. Well, it's a female, but I said, look, dude, I exercise, I played basketball, I did everything. But when you hit about 40 and wake up in the morning and it feel like somebody beat you up and you don't recall ever being in the fight, then we could have that discussion.
Right. Oh my God.
I would start going out. There we go. Stop acting like you got an attitude. But yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, have you seen the Netflix movie?
Which one? I mean, I've seen a lot of movies on Netflix. Like that's my pastime.
Oh, I just got the $6.99 Netflix. Don't judge me. I like commercials, but I ain't paying for the expensive one. The Kelly Rowland movie.
Oh, of course. I saw when first I saw it. I was like, yeah, that's my girl. I gotta watch it. But yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
No concerns like the rest of the world about the paint scene.
I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you, as a writer, the movie was booty, but visually, the movie was gorgeous. Like, and that scene was nice, but like some people said, there's some concerns when it comes to using paint and doing certain activities that you probably, you know, you can't just let anything try to get down in those areas, especially for a woman. pH balance, it can just mess some stuff up because using the wrong soap can throw it off. But anyway, but other than that, I mean, it was pretty, but just the writing of it, I'm like, who? I mean, I know who wrote it, but it's like, come on, like the plot and I'm just gonna leave it alone because some people were like, I thought the movie was great, and I'm like, so you're not a writer or an actor, and you know nothing about real how movies actually have to go through a sequence and how you have to be the person has to be relatable. It has to make sense. You have to be invested in the person.
So I'm just gonna be honest and blunt. I'm not gonna be
Mhm.
like Q. Paint shouldn't go in the cuckoo. Men, I know we struggle with TD tests because that's when they stick the tube down in your pee hole as a man. Um, I'm just gonna be blunt about this. If you get something down your pee hole, it's gonna bother your prostate. It's gonna bother
Mhm.
everything. It's gonna throw everything off. So we like the whole paint thing. It was cute. It was artistic. It was great. Like Q said, the visuals, the visuals. I don't know who is the editor, the color correcting person, or anything like that, but call me, because God Almighty, I felt immersed in color as watching it. But that's where the immersion stopped because as an actor, as a person who has written, as a person who has done stage plays, felt freaking lost. And my boo was in the movie, Kelly Rowland, but I felt lost at times. Like I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, like what?
Yeah.
Like why? No,
And can he
hold on. Who
please
wrote
just do me
this?
a favor? Like, can we just stop with the girl, the woman is this, and then the guy is just a broke, no good. It's like, come on, you've given us that storyline way too many times. Can we get something else?
He given us that storyline way too many times in too many different forms. My thing is, I think that he has. What is wrong with your camera? See, look, I'm saying that, and then my camera start bugging out. Nobody's talking about your friend. Oh, you must be friends with Tyler Perry. Okay, thank you. Um, I'm just gonna sit still. Look, and I'm sitting still. It's still going out. What are you focusing on? If not me, I'm the person that own you. Jeez. But yeah, he gave us that storyline in too many different forms, and it's crazy to even think about that. He continues to do that. And it continues to sell and actually work. You know, but I think Carson and about four of her preschool friends actually wrote that. I don't think that he actually wrote that himself. I think that he had somebody else wrote that. They brought it to him, and he put it
Mm.
great. Like I said, great visuals, but the story, it was good in parts, but it needs some work, some
Yeah, like if
interconnection.
he had given me that script, I could have ran away and just doctored that thing up. Like, we needed a court scene. We needed to see her in action. We needed to. How is the lady who we thought was dead? First of all, how can you put somebody in jail for murder where you don't even have a body? Whose body and what blood? Because she in the DR looking just as healthy as I don't know what. So where was the DNA? What was the evidence that led you to believe that he killed this woman? How the f is she is in the DR? Like, can I get a little flashback to show me how that all transpired? Like, come on. I'm not asking for much. I just needed to make sense in my head. How you got there, ma'am?
Well, also too, this is the thing, kind of go back to my editing team again and their shenanigans. Maybe they was cut short on time. Netflix wanted to say, hey, can you cut certain parts out and make this shorter, or maybe the movie was actually longer. We really don't know about that part. But yes, I'm with you. Like, hold on, how we zoomed to Thailand. It ended up in Africa. Like, it didn't make no sense to me. And then, like you said, anytime in a movie where you're supposed to be somebody representing something, you got to at least show them walking out the courtroom, or a lawyer of what?
Yes. Can I see her in action at least one? Show me why she is the requested attorney. Like, show me a badass scene where she's just killing it, and you like, yeah, I gotta have her because she's the one. She's a bulldog. She's a pit bull in a skirt. Let me see that scene, and then you jump to him wanting her as the lawyer. Oh, you gotta have so and so. You gotta have Mia. Okay, boom. That satisfies that part. But again, I'm still stuck on the whole how we get you in jail in the first place when there's no body.
No
What a
story on
blood.
it.
Where did you find out? Because there was like, anyway, I'm gonna let it go. Because the more I try to make sense of it, the more lost I become.
And the more they think we sound like a hater. No, we not sounding like haters. We're not saying we hate the movie. We just wish it was interlocking pieces there. That's all. Just a little bit of cohesion in the
Yeah.
storyline, a little bit.
And I don't
Um,
just say that about his movies. I say that about any movie that I will watch on Netflix. Because me and my daughter will sit there and watch a movie, and then we'll be like, are they actually going to give us an ending this time? Because sometimes you watch a movie on Netflix and they'll just end the movie, and we're like, okay, so what's that rest of the story? Can we get the rest, or we just got
you
to make
just
it up?
you just sitting up there looking around like,
Is that the ending? No, that can't be the ending.
nah. My wife Mika look dead over at me as soon as it get to the credits. She be like she mad as hell
Yeah.
at me because the movie
You're like,
ain't
I
doing
didn't do it.
it.
I didn't write it. I
She
didn't
looking at
do
me
it.
like, I know you just now didn't end this movie, Kenny. No, I didn't have nothing to do with it. Like, it's crazy how they do that sometimes. It just ain't Netflix. It's all of them. Hulu does it sometimes too with their little Hulu originals. It's just in like stupidly. Like she'll sudden the movie's over. Like, hold up.
Yeah.
What happened to the guy? What happened to give us more? Like, don't just end it like that. And
And you
then
want to kill
also
me is they'll have like 5 minutes of credits. So you thinking, okay, there can't be like 5 minutes of credits on this shit. Like, can I get some more? And you
now
scroll through this like that's it. Just names going up.
you thinking to yourself like it's like one of those Marvel things where they're gonna come on at the end and they're gonna show dude on the beach, the woman somewhere, and no, they don't. They just leave your ass hanging, leave you
Figure out
hanging.
your
Uh,
anyway.
so anyway, one last thing I wanted to touch base on. You know what last month was?
Yeah. Black History Month.
Right. Q looked at me like, blink, blink. Yeah. Did you? But no. I want to touch base on something right quick. Now, last month was Black History Month, and surprisingly, we did 0 episodes on, and a lot of people was kind of perplexed, and some was actually elated, but a lot of people were
Let me guess the
perplexed.
ones who are elated. Let me
I don't
stop.
know. I don't know. They probably was sitting back waiting to troll, because that's when I get most of my trolls coming out the woodworks during Black History Month. But actually, my numbers shoot up for subscribers. But this time they didn't shoot up for subscribers. They actually went down,
Dang.
which was strange. And I thought to myself, I said, oh yeah, I didn't do an episode on Black History. Well, I want to say I did that purposely because I wanted to see just how much Black History stuff was going to go out this year. I wanted to
Mhm.
see how many people was going to talk about Black History Month on their podcasts, on their radio stations. I wanted to see would we get a slip up of Black History Month ice cream. I wanted to see more of those dumb commercials on TV about remembering Black History Month or remembering Martin Luther King or blah 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 or Black Lives Matters or something. I probably seen like one commercial, heard somebody talk about it once on the radio, and that was it.
Yeah, it was kind of like not kind of. It was almost like it wasn't even Black History Month. Yeah.
So my question to you, Q, is: are we over Black History Month?
I think we're over it. I think the problem is we are getting tired of trying to justify our contributions, our existence, and we're over that part. We're tired of trying to tell people, "Hey, we're important. We've contributed," and because we have people telling us, "Well, let's take it out of the curriculum. Let's not really teach it. Let's teach it this way. And let's just kind of change the narrative to say, had it not been for us taking you from where you had your own language, your own culture, your own customs and practices, and brought you over here and giving you these trades, then you just would have just, you wouldn't be
Right.
anything. I think that's where it is. Yeah. It's sad.
I mean, I think to myself, it's almost something from out of a movie or something like that. What's that TV show? The Handmaid's Tale,
Hmm.
where uh we are afraid to discuss it because we're going to get reported almost, or somebody's going to say something, or they're going to try to take it away from us completely. um it's crazy to think that there's people that's taking away simple history,
Hmm.
actual history books and things of that nature because um it doesn't fit what they are trying to get out there in the world. Also, too, I feel a little bit of this generation is so microwave now that they would just speed through everything. Okay, yeah, it's Black History Month. Okay, that was last week. That was the beginning of
Hmm.
February. Now, for the rest of February, we're gonna pop pills, drink 40s, and do whatever we want to do and be unapologetically black. But let something happen, and all of a sudden, we got 1,000 people saying Black Lives Matter. Um, don't forget that they did this to Rosa Parks and da da da. All these other things come popping about the closet. That's just my opinion and my thoughts on it. And so, you want to know why we didn't do that? It's because of that. I just wanted to sit back, relax, and see what exactly popped up out there. And for the life of me, I didn't find nothing that was entertaining. I mean, they got the little history stuff on YouTube, but some of that stuff was old that I was looking at. I
Yeah.
realized it once I looked down at the time that it was put out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's tiring. Like they don't even really understand just being in this skin is exhausting. And then just for you to be appreciative of who you are, because that's the whole reason why Black History Week and then month even came around, is because our stuff wasn't being told, or it was
Right.
being told in a manner that was like you were leaving the good parts out. You were just talking about the slavery. Like that's not where our history began. And
No.
that's even when that happened, there was so much other stuff that happened that slavery was just, you don't even talk about all the awesome stuff that happened even down in Louisiana, where well, I ain't going to mention that part because then people going to get really But you know, revolts and people having uprisings and you know, taking control and saying, "Nah, we're not gonna put up with this." You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You leave
Right.
that part out.
I mean, you had Haiti's revolt, Jamaica's revolt. I
Hmm.
mean, you had so many different revolts in different areas of different countries that led to different things. And we see it now in the world. You know, I mean, Haiti is in the position that they are in because of their revolt. Um,
Yeah.
Jamaica is kind of sovereign in different areas because of their revolt. You know, Louisiana's makeup is the way that it is, where you got white people that sound like they black because of they are black. They just don't realize how black they are. But yeah, because of their revolt. So I mean, over time, you know, if you would allow your brain just to think that, you know, Black History Month is more than slavery, more than Rosa Parks, more than Martin Luther King, more than Malcolm X. It's more than that, you know. But it's what we allow to be told over and over again, and we have to stop allowing them to block our history, because their history is being told every day in some school. Because I
Hmm.
mean, history, you know, something I always learned in school was history belonged to the victors. So whoever won the
Hmm.
war, whoever was the top
Hmm.
dude, wrote the history. And that doesn't necessarily make the history 100% true because of that.
Right. Because they're going to tell it from their advantage. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
give justifications why they did certain things. You know, it's one thing to say, like, if you have a whole continent where people are chilling and doing their own thing, and then you say, "Well, I'm going to go over there and get those people because what?
Because they
They're
didn't have no
chilling.
way back. Because they didn't have
They're
no way back.
minding their own business. What are you doing going over there and
Mm-hmm.
taking precious artifacts? You still have them in museums. Give them back to the countries where you took it from.
Yeah.
They don't need you to hold on to their stuff. Give
Mm-mm.
it back.
We got a
But, you know,
sarcophagus of King Tut. Where is it at? In London. For what?
why? You know,
Put it
nobody
back.
asked you to take that.
Put it back.
Nobody asked you to go over there messing with people. Like I'm still stuck on the part that I can't trace back my lineage. I would like to know, and then you going to tell me to go back to a country. Africa is a whole continent with 54 countries. Specifically, where in Africa would you like me to go to? Because if you had you left my peoples over there, I would be over there, you know, with my own stuff. But
Yeah.
you, because you was bored and out of your freaking mind, went over there
Nope.
and started
Not
messing with
because you was
stuff.
bored,
That
because you
part
was
too.
lazy, inkling of a thought. You said, hold on. You said, hold on. I got these indentured servants, and it's these people in this country that I trade with. Um, let's see if that works, because I can get them, and they're dark skinned, they're tropical, they like the sun, it's fine. I can bring them to the Bahamas and make me a whole bunch of money off of sugarcane. And let's see how this
Mhm.
works. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. We giving them a little bit of love and a little bit of money and everything like that. Hold on. What the hell are we doing? They have no way back. We can do this for free. Let's get some more. And so that's how it started. They got some more, and and then they realized they couldn't get them there. And then they looked over at the indentured servants and the slaves, and they noticed the indentured servants and the slaves started becoming really good friends. And they was like, hold up, we got to add some separation, some class, some hierarchy to this. And so then they told the indentured servants, hey, you could pay for your freedom. They can't at this time. So
Mhm.
we'll make sure we give you money and get you free. Well, now the indentured servant and the slave who was buddy buddy and revolting because they seen it happen. That's what how come so many revolts was happening early on, was because the indentured servants and the slaves was actually getting together, because they had white slaves, yes they did, and they had black slaves. But the white slave, what happened was they said, "Nah, we can't continue to have these revolts because now they showing the black people how to read and all this other stuff, and it's getting out of hand. So we're gonna give you the ability to get yourself free, to get you some money in your pocket, and now you can buy Jacob, your friend, and he can be your slave." And all Jacob's friends, other black slave friends, looking at Jacob like, "Man, I told you not to trust this motherfucker." Man, I told you not to trust him, man. What's wrong with him? Now he buying us? Oh man, this is bugged out. I thought he was my friend. So I mean, I understand. The native people, the Inuit, they have the broken spirits too, but our spirit was all the way just torn. It wasn't broken. It was just a piece was tore off and just thrown in the river, and watched it float away. Over and over and over again for many and many years. And people always say get over it, but I'm gonna sum it up like this, and because I always sum it up like this. Schools desegregated around 1969. My mama was 9 years old then. 10 years later, I was born in 1979. So when I was born, school desegregation was still something new. A 10-year-old child is only but about this tall, somewhere around here. Just think inside your head, a 10-year-old child. That's 10 years later. So that was still something new. So we're still working on a lot of things like interaction and interlocking things that people just don't understand. It's a process, and long as people have their thoughts about how, because I can still feel it sometimes, even when I'm helping, white customers at the store, something goes wrong with their card or something like that. I can still feel it, but once they see that you are who you say you are, or you ignore what they're trying to put up out there and show them another way, like, no, 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 then they're like, oh, wow, okay. And so it's almost like they give that he's one of the good ones. Look, what I'm saying? Like, oh, yeah, okay. And then you just keep it moving because it's still out there. Even in Congress, the people that make the laws, the people that do these things to us, raise these gas prices and groceries. Stop believing that the president does all this. President does not influence none of this. It's those people that are in those seats that talk junk every day on the House floor that's not fixing things. Those are the people that you need to change. You can change 1,000 presidents. President is like changing tank tops.
Yeah.
But you need to change your drawers because you got doodle stains
Right.
in there. And that's the people that's in there. So, yeah. Some of them have old ways. And that's just the way I'm going to sum it up. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to have a discussion, like I said, but it wasn't no need because I just wanted to just sit back and look around and just see what was going to happen. And lo and behold, no discussions. All right. So let's get into today's topic. Yep, we talked about everything else and we still didn't talk about today's topic. See? God almighty. Today's topic is expressing yourself clearly and actively listening. Now, I said that after I said all I said because was you actively listening to what I just said? If you wasn't, then I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you because God gave you one mouth and two ears. He didn't do that for no purpose. He could have put an ear on the front of your head. You could talk and listen all at the same time. No, he put them in two separate places. So you could talk and you could listen. A lot of people don't listen. They just spew out words before they can even the person to say something, to say what I just bounce back and you like, well, did you even listen to what I said? Yeah, I listened. No, you heard me. You wasn't listening.
That part.
So,
And that's a lot of things too people don't understand. There's a difference between hearing and listening. They teach you this if you take a speech class. Hearing is just understanding sound, but the listening is decoding the message that you hear and actually applying some meaning to it. So I heard that, but what does it mean? It means that LaQuinta just started slapping on her bookshelf like a crazy person.
Or it
Okay,
could mean a knock on the front door.
right. So that is the difference between hearing and listening. I can blah 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 blah. You heard that, but what does it mean to you?
Right.
So if you don't actually,
Take in.
you're not going to actually apply meaning to what I said. You just listening to give a response, and that's not good. And I feel like a lot of people do that these days. That's why one of the reasons why I used to be big on TikTok. I stopped doing TikToks because it just got so exhausting trying to, like, did you even listen to what I said? Because you're just blabbering on about something, things that I did not say, or you're trying to apply something different than what I said. Nobody said none of what you just said. You just want to talk to hear yourself talking. And the Bible says that kind of person is a fool. So you're not interested in understanding. You only want to hear yourself speak. And I'm going to let you speak. I'm just not going to respond to you.
Well, let me be the first to tell you, it's a lot of people that are fools up out here. Because that was part of what I was saying when I was talking about the whole Black History Month thing. The comments that I receive, or the trolling, or different things like that that happens or takes place during when we do a Black History Month episode, automatically people want to say, oh, there was white slaves, or oh, Martin Luther King wasn't first, or Martin Luther King. And I'm like, are you listening what I'm saying? I'm talking about this topic. I'm not saying that there wasn't. I didn't say that there wasn't. I didn't say that there was. I am talking about a specific topic. And I know and I understand a lot of people are always used to me just being able to go ping pong, ping, 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 and Q being like, oh, down the line, down the line. I'm just gonna just follow you down the line. And I know people are used to the episode being like that, but a lot of times, when I'm specifically on a topic like a dog hunting down a truffle, um, that's the only thing I can come up with because they barking. Dog hunting down the truffle, when I'm on that specific topic, I'm on it. And sometimes people just make a comment like, well, Rosa Parks wasn't the first one, right? I know that, but I didn't ask for you to interlock into that.
It's kind of like the whole situation where you have, I'm talking about bananas, but then you start talking about apples. And I'm like, okay, like I get it. They're both in the produce section, but can we come over here and talk about these bananas though? And then when you want to talk about apple, you make your own video about apples, and then we'll stick to that topic. But people do that all the time. They you talk about one thing and they start bringing up stuff like I get it, they're in the same realm, but that's not specifically what I'm talking about right here. Can you
right.
come over here?
Can you join the fun up over here? My other point on this topic is because there's a lot of people, and I'm tipping penny, ping, 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 ping. There's a lot of people out here in the job world, in the career world, who never clearly express themselves or say exactly what they want. For example, this is just an example, not targeting nobody or anything like that. If a manager comes up to you and asks you, what's the issue, or are you having any issues, or I'm seeing that you're upset about something, and they allow you the floor time to speak openly, what do you do, Q?
But let them have it. I'm gonna I'm gonna say my piece.
Well, as of lately, I've been seeing a lot of people be submissive and dismissive, um, when it comes to certain things like that, and it's scary to me because they're like, oh no, it's no problem and stuff like that, but behind closed doors or later on down the line, you mumbling to yourself or you upset again, and I'm looking at these things like, what in the hell is wrong with people? Like, do you not know how to clearly communicate? That something is wrong or you're upset about something or how you feel about something. I think
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah. People don't know how to use their words.
Yeah. You know what? I'm I'm horrible with my words. Because in all truth, like I'm more mundane or more calm when it comes to the podcast, but inside my head I'm like MFer, ish. Fuck. Summit. Mother. So a lot of times when I'm stuttering, and I know I've stuttered a few times during this episode, I'm trying to catch myself before I cuss. So, because I want to have a clear message,
Mhm.
but I want to take the cuss words out so you be more receptive to it. Because a lot of people aren't too receptive to the way I
Right.
talk normally without the camera in front of me.
Right. Right. Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the things that I say that if you don't start teaching it young, it becomes more difficult as people get older. And this is one of the things that as parents we have to also understand too is like, well, you just gonna do it. Let your child speak. Like when they're upset, let them use their words because what we're producing is these socially inept adults who can't communicate effectively when they get in workplaces,
right,
relationships, or other team settings because you're not letting them speak. So now they're bottling up feelings or you just at them and then how are we going to teach people to communicate effectively if we don't start young? I let my kids talk. How do you feel? Are you mad? If my son says, give me a minute, I give him a minute and we go back and talk about it later. It's not that difficult. But we get into this, well, I'm the parent and he just gonna listen to what I say, rah, rah, rah. Well, that's still a human. And this person still has feelings. I'm not saying let them be disrespectful, but I'm saying let them have a moment where they tell you honestly how they feel about a situation. And yes, you are the parent, so ultimately you have the final word, but at least let them air out how they feel about it. That's all. That's what I
no, that's 110%. Yeah, yeah. To the damn TQ. That is it. That is it. Because we grew up old school. You don't talk when the grown people talking. You stay out of grown folks' business. All those things. And I always wondered why, sometimes things I should have spoke up on, I didn't speak up on. Is because, I didn't have common knowledge of certain things. Or I didn't know how to interact in those circles. Or, it's just different things. And so like with Carson, I'm teaching her respect. Like if you got something to say, you say excuse me, and then you interject into the conversation. Be mindful of what you're listening to. This is something that mommy and daddy needs to talk about. So we'll go in another room instead of just saying, "Hey, stay out of grown folks' business." We say, "Hey, we need to go in another room and have this discussion," or I'll give you a small truncated version. So even if Carson would like to interject or say something as far into the conversation or ask a question, then I would be able to tell her without it being adult overload, for example.
got.
This way she knows how to communicate. A lot of times You have kids that get intimidated. Their voice gets real low, and I say no. I say we're not going to do that. I say what you're going to do is you're going to lift your head up. You're going to look at me in my face, and you're going to ask me or say what you got to say instead of be. No,
You're
don't do
right.
that. And that's
Right.
something that I work with all my kids about. Don't go looking all over the place, because see, then I really feel like your attentions are not what they supposed to be. When you start having to, oh daddy, I think I should da, 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 da. Like, nah, I'm about to put you in rehab.
Right.
I'm gonna put you
That's
in
what I was
rehab.
about to say. What is this, a
I
crackhead or something?
I think you doing something. And you just start doing like this. Oh hell no, you definitely going to rehab. But no, jokes aside, it starts at home. It starts with teaching your kids right, and that means teaching them how to communicate early on. No, no, no substitutes, no ad libs, no faking it. It's parenting 101. When your kids ask questions, give them answers. It's not that hard. Carson asked me about my tens machine that I use for my back. She's like that. She wanted to ask questions, so I gave her answers. Blah 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 blah. And now she knows that's daddy's back thing. Okay, now she knows not to mess with it. Okay, it's not for me. You know,
Yeah.
um, the kids, and guns and stuff like that. If you got guns in the household, you need to have those discussions, because there are safety risks with that. If you see it, what do? You don't touch it. For one.
Yeah.
For two, kill curiosity. This is what this is for. This is not for playing. This is not for, and that's how you kill some of the curiosity. Drugs. Have those discussions with your kids. You know, this is drugs. This is bad for you. This does this to your body. This does that. You know, do a better job than Dare did for us. Dare made
Right.
Dare made it kind of cool for us. It was like, hey, this is marijuana. If you smoke this, oh well, this is not like a serious drug. You smoke this, you might feel a little bit, but does it make you see anything? It can make you hallucinate, but I know thousands of people that smoke marijuana and never hallucinated a day in their damn life. So I don't know what marijuana y'all was trying to push on us doing there, but it didn't work on these other people because they smoke marijuana. But anyway, I mean, Dare did a hell of a bang up job on us growing up, because now we got more junkies, pill poppers, and everything like that out there. And I tell people all the time, it starts with the communication at home. I grew up in the early 80s when the crack epidemic broke out, and I got to see firsthand. But these kids nowadays didn't get to see the crack epidemic. So I got to explain these things to them, why this stuff is bad. Have those communications, have an open discussion, allow your kids to express themselves within reason and respect now. Because if they come up to me cussing, I'm going to have me a bunch of whistlers. He's going to be like, Carson, where your teeth go? Daddy knocked them out. So,
Yeah.
yeah, even sorry, I had to a little bit change positions. Even when you're in a relationship, I find that my wife would probably say otherwise, but it's the truth. I listen more than I talk. Sometimes she thinks I'm ignoring her, but I'm just listening. And she's like, "You're not going to say anything?" No. When the time is right, when I get everything together inside my head, I'll say something. But I listen more than I talk.
I'm like that at work. And one of my supervisors was like, why aren't you more vocal in the meetings? But then he came back and he said, I shouldn't have told you that because I understand that you're a listener and you don't just say things just to say them. When there's something important to say, that's when you speak up. Of course, because if 50 people already said it, I'm not going to say it again because
No,
we're beating the dead horse already. He's pretty dead. You know what I mean? It's dead.
same
Pope,
name, motherfucker. Same
him
name.
dead. You know, he not getting up. But you know, there's people we have a meeting about about the meeting we already had, and it's like I'm not gonna keep saying the same thing over. I'm gonna express my opinion, and if you say, "Well, we're doing this a certain way because of X, Y, and Z," then I'm gonna fall back.
Right.
So 50 people repeating the same thing, only just switching the words around. I'm like, this meeting could have been over 20 minutes ago. Why are we still here?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But
Trust me. I know. I know. You know, I've always been a person that, I mean, I'm very vocal about cracking my jokes, talking ish, but like when it comes to something of importance, I kind of fall back. It's not that it's not that I don't have nothing to say. Is that if I say it right there at that moment, it comes out jumbo. And I've done that before and tried to force it out, and everybody looked at me like, "The fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like, think about it," and I'm like, "Hold on, I'll come back to you." But I realized after that, a couple of times I experimented, and I was like, I'm going back to my original way where I like to just fall, and then I get all my bits and pieces together, and that wheel starts circulating. Then I'm coming back to you like three times, like, "Oh yeah, you know what, Kenny, that makes a lot of sense. Let me show you this. It makes it even better." So that it's also too about having clear, concise communications. Um, at the end of the day, everything doesn't need to be said. Some communications are dumb. Some people that so-called are listening, like nodding their head, listening, are not listening. They're just waiting for the moment to interject, like Q said. Um, and sometimes at Christmas, you don't get gifts. Got them. Oh, oh, all right. So if nobody told you today that they love you, we do. If you haven't had the opportunity to go check out our website at www.ysgpodcast.com, I suggest you go do that because what's the sense of having a website if you ain't gonna go visit it? Like, just go, go there. You can even watch the episodes, catch up on the old episodes from there. You can go support Q. She has a link for her books up there. We have a link to the store. You can buy a nice coffee cup, get you a T-shirt, you know, and you can like, share, subscribe to this podcast on YouTube. We on other platforms as well. Just follow the links down below. And thank you for bearing with me and my stiff back. Peace out.